You know what's confusing about silence? It doesn't make noise, but it screams something. Maybe you've felt it. Those quiet nights when your phone stays still, no calls, no texts, no notifications, and yet your mind won't stop asking, does he still think about me? Because silence isn't empty. It's full of questions, memories, and words that were never spoken. When a man misses you but won't say it, he often hides behind that quiet. But the truth is that silence is its own kind of message. See, when someone truly doesn't care, they move on with peace. They don't check your socials at 2 a.m. They don't replay your laugh in their mind. And they definitely don't flinch when they hear your name. But when a man does miss you, really misses you, his silence becomes heavy. It's not indifference, it's restraint. It's him fighting the urge to reach out, wondering if you still think of him too. In this video, we're not just decoding his words, we're reading his quiet. You'll learn how silence can reveal more than any "I miss you" ever could, and how to see the difference between a man who's moved on and a man who's pretending he has. Because sometimes, the loudest truth is whispered in silence. When we miss someone, it isn't just nostalgia, it's the mind and heart wrestling with unfinished connection. Psychologists say that missing someone activates the same regions in the brain linked to addiction and withdrawal. In other words, when he misses you, his brain is craving the comfort, the routine, and the emotional reward that your presence once gave him. But here's what's fascinating. Men often process this differently than women. While women are usually encouraged to talk, to express, to seek closure, men are taught to suppress. So when he starts missing you, he doesn't always say it out loud. Instead, it shows up in subtle ways. Sudden irritability, loss of focus, or that quiet mood that no one around him seems to understand. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that his emotions are trying to find a place to go, and he doesn't know how to let them out. He might throw himself into work, the gym, or meaningless distractions. It's his brain's way of building barriers, not against you, but against his own vulnerability. The harder he tries not to think of you, the more his subconscious pulls you back. A scent, a song, a phrase someone says, and suddenly you're there again, uninvited but unforgettable. This is the paradox of emotional distance. The more he resists the feeling, the stronger it becomes. Missing someone isn't about weakness, it's about attachment. It's the echo of emotional safety his heart still remembers. Even if pride stops him from reaching out, the psychology behind missing you runs deeper than choice. It's biological, it's emotional muscle memory. So when he's quiet, don't assume he's over it. Sometimes that silence isn't distance. It's the noise of a heart trying to heal without letting you know it's breaking. Because the truth is, missing someone doesn't always sound like a phone call or a text. Sometimes it just lives quietly between every word he doesn't say. When men start to miss someone, they rarely show it in direct ways. Instead, they hide behind patterns, behaviors that look casual on the surface, but are loaded with emotion underneath. These patterns are quiet, almost invisible, unless you know what to look for. One of the first is emotional withdrawal. He may appear calm or indifferent, but inside he's in conflict. His silence isn't peace, it's protection. He tells himself he's fine, that he's moved on, but he avoids anything that might remind him of you, not because he's over you, but because remembering hurts too much. Avoidance becomes his way of staying in control. Then comes distraction. He might suddenly become too busy diving into projects, social events, or new routines. It's not really about productivity, it's about escape. Every hour he fills with noise is an hour he doesn't have to confront what he feels. You'll see it in how he laughs louder, stays out later, or pretends everything's great. But deep down, there's a quiet exhaustion that follows him everywhere. Another hidden pattern is emotional inconsistency. One day he seems distant, and the next he might like an old photo, view your story, or send a random message out of nowhere. That's not confusion. It's vulnerability leaking through his defenses. It's his way of saying, I still feel something, without actually saying it. And then there's nostalgia, one of the strongest signs he's missing you. He starts reminiscing, talking about back then, or mentioning inside jokes you once shared. These aren't coincidences. They're small windows into a heart that's trying to revisit the only place it felt safe. The truth is, men don't hide emotions because they're heartless. They hide them because they've been taught that expressing emotion equals weakness. But behind every joke, every silence, every casual, "I'm good," there's usually a story he's not ready to tell. So when you notice these patterns, don't be fooled by what he shows. Listen to what he avoids. Because sometimes what a man refuses to talk about reveals exactly what still owns his heart. When a man misses you but won't say it, his behavior becomes a quiet confession. It's not in the words, it's in the patterns that slip through when he stops controlling them. The truth hides in the in-between moments, the ones he thinks no one's watching. You'll notice it first in the way he lingers. He might not text, but he still checks your social media, quietly, consistently. He'll watch your stories within minutes, scroll through your photos, maybe even like one from months ago by accident. But it's not an accident, it's nostalgia. It's his subconscious trying to feel connected without crossing the line his pride drew. Then there's the way he brings you up in conversation. Not directly, but through small, indirect mentions. He'll say something like, "You used to love that song," or "You'd probably laugh at this," as if your name is still stitched into his everyday life. That's how men communicate missing someone, through memory disguised as casual talk. Another subtle sign is emotional presence in absence. He might pull away physically, but still show care in hidden ways, checking if you're okay through mutual friends, keeping tabs on your life, or sending a message that sounds casual, but carries emotional weight. "Just saw something that reminded me of you." Simple words, but underneath, there's a storm of feeling he's trying to contain. His body language tells even more. If you ever see him again, pay attention to the pauses. The way his eyes soften when he looks at you, or how his posture shifts slightly, like his body remembers you before his mind does. Men rarely fake that kind of familiarity. It's instinctive. You might also notice a pattern of contradiction. He'll act distant one moment, then unexpectedly warm the next. That's not mixed signals, that's emotional conflict. He's trying to balance the part of him that wants to move on with the part that still feels anchored to you. Sometimes he won't reach out at all, but you'll sense him everywhere. Songs you both loved start playing when you least expect them. You dream about him. You feel that strange emotional pull. That's energy, memory, and attachment still alive between you. Even if he's silent, his presence doesn't fade easily. Men miss quietly because silence feels safer than rejection. Saying "I miss you" opens a door he's scared to walk through. So instead, he speaks through patterns, late night scrolling, random memories, lingering gazes, sudden messages that mean more than they admit. And if you're seeing these signs, know this. He may not say it, but something in him still holds you close. Missing you is the one thing he hides, and yet it's the one thing he can't fully control. Sometimes, what words hide, the body reveals. When a man misses you, his body starts to speak in small, unguarded ways even he might not realize. Because body language is raw truth. It's instinct before intention, emotion before logic. And when his heart still remembers you, his body does too. When he sees you again, pay attention to his eyes first. They'll tell you everything. A man who misses you doesn't just look, he lingers. His gaze will hold for half a second longer than it should. It's soft, almost nostalgic, like he's trying to memorize you again but doesn't want you to notice. Sometimes, he'll look away too quickly, not because he doesn't care, but because looking at you brings up everything he's been trying to bury. His posture will shift subtly. He might lean in without realizing it, body tilted toward you in conversation, even if he's trying to act casual. That lean, that unconscious pull, is connection resurfacing. And if he crosses his arms but keeps his feet pointed toward you, that's not rejection, it's protection. His body wants closeness, but his mind is fighting it. Then there's touch, or rather the absence of it. He might brush past you lightly, almost accidentally, as if testing the energy between you. Or he might avoid touch altogether, knowing 1 second of contact could unravel everything he's been holding back. Either way, touch becomes charged, heavy with meaning, wrapped in restraint. Listen to his voice. When a man misses you, it softens. He may speak slower, his tone lower, more vulnerable. It's the sound of someone remembering what it felt like to be understood. You'll notice small hesitations, a quiet laugh that fades into thought. That's nostalgia slipping through the cracks of his composure. Even his breathing tells a story. Around you, it might quicken slightly, or he'll take a deep breath before speaking, not out of nervousness, but because being near you brings up emotion he's not ready to show. And when he smiles, truly smiles, you'll see the difference. It's that half smile that doesn't reach his eyes, as if something's missing behind it. That's not indifference. It's longing, wrapped in control. The truth is, men can fake words, but they can't fake presence. When he still feels something, it radiates in micro movements. The glance that lingers, the posture that leans closer, the silence filled with tension. You don't need him to say a thing. His body already did. So the next time you're near him, don't listen with your ears. Watch with your intuition. Because sometimes, love doesn't speak. It trembles quietly in the space between two people who still feel what they're pretending not to. Social media can feel like a puzzle. A place where intentions hide behind likes, views, and comments. But when a man misses you, his online behavior often tells the story his words do not. Even if he isn't texting, calling, or speaking directly, his actions on social media can be an unintentional confession. The first sign is consistent viewing. He may not react, not comment, not like a single post, but you can be certain he's looking. Stories, photos, updates. He checks them quietly, sometimes within minutes of being posted. This is his way of feeling close without crossing the line he's set for himself. In his mind, it's safer to observe from the sidelines than risk rejection or vulnerability. Then there's the timing of his interactions. You might notice he likes older posts from months ago, a photo, a memory, a throwback you almost forgot existed. That's nostalgia disguised as casual scrolling. It's his mind pulling him back to the moments he misses most, even if he won't admit it. Some men use subtle engagement as a form of indirect connection. Maybe he comments on a friend's post you're tagged in, or reacts to a story you posted without making it obvious. These are breadcrumb signs, a way to insert himself into your world without confronting his emotions head-on. You'll also notice patterns in his activity. If he's suddenly more active around times you would notice, late at night when he knows you're online, or after posting something meaningful, it's rarely random. It's subconscious timing, an instinctive tug toward your presence even through a digital lens. The posts he shares can also reveal his emotional state. A quote about missing someone, a song lyric that mirrors your shared memories, or a nostalgic photo hinting at a past connection. These aren't coincidences. They are unspoken attempts to express feelings he can't verbalize directly. And sometimes the absence of activity is just as telling. If he goes silent after once being very active, it may indicate that seeing you or your updates is harder than he expected. Withdrawal, in this sense, isn't distance. It's emotional overwhelm. The truth is, social media amplifies the micro-expressions of the heart. When a man misses you, he may try to control it, hide it, or rationalize it. But the small cues will leak through: timing, consistency, subtle interactions, or the content he shares. You don't need a text to confirm his thoughts. You need to read the patterns, the pauses, the little signals he's unconsciously sending. Even in silence, even online, he's there, thinking, remembering, and feeling what he cannot say out loud. His presence, digital or real, can reveal a longing that words might never capture. It's one of the most confusing things in relationships. The closer a man gets emotionally, the more he sometimes pulls away. On the surface, it looks like distance, disinterest, or even rejection. But the truth is far more nuanced. Men often pull away because they care. Their mind and heart are wrestling with vulnerability, fear, and attachment, all at once. When a man genuinely cares, his emotions are heightened. He feels more deeply, remembers more vividly, and invests more than he realizes. And the weight of that care can become overwhelming. Instead of expressing it, he retreats. Silence becomes easier than confrontation. Distance becomes a shield against the fear of saying the wrong thing, disappointing you, or exposing himself to emotional risk. Pride and social conditioning play a big role too. Many men grow up learning that emotional openness is a weakness. Sharing fears, longing, or neediness is seen as risky or embarrassing. So when his feelings for you grow stronger, his instinct may be to step back rather than step forward. Pulling away isn't a reflection of love lost. It's a defense mechanism. Sometimes he pulls away because he doubts himself. He questions if he's enough for you, if he can handle the intensity of his feelings, or if the relationship will survive his vulnerability. This self-doubt can manifest as coldness, space, or avoidance, all while he's silently thinking about you, replaying moments in his head, and wishing he could bridge the gap without exposing his fear. It's also about control. Pulling away can feel like taking the emotional reins in his own hands. By creating distance, he believes he's protecting both you and himself from potential hurt. He's trying to regulate his own emotional storm, without realizing that the very act of withdrawal can be confusing or painful for you. The paradox is clear. Care intensifies both connection and fear. The stronger his feelings, the more he struggles to manage them. Pulling away is not rejection. It's a signal that his heart is active, alive, and cautious, all at once. The key to understanding this behavior is patience and observation. Look for subtle signs. Does he reach out in small ways despite the distance? Does his body language soften when you're around? Do moments of laughter, shared memories, or eye contact reveal warmth beneath the retreat? These are the markers of a man caught between desire and caution. When you notice him pulling away, try to see beyond the surface. It's not a lack of love. It's an internal struggle, a quiet testimony of the depth of his feelings, one that he's often too vulnerable to express in words. When a man is showing signs that he misses you but isn't saying it directly, the most powerful thing you can do is respond, but not by chasing. Chasing often pushes him further away because it triggers his fear of vulnerability or loss of control. Instead, responding with balance, confidence, and self-respect allows you to maintain your value while still acknowledging the connection. The first step is awareness. Notice his subtle signs, the lingering glances, the nostalgic messages, or the quiet behaviors we've talked about earlier, without over-interpreting them. Awareness doesn't mean overanalyzing. It means observing patterns without reacting impulsively. When you see the signals, take a moment to assess your feelings. Are you reacting from insecurity, or are you engaging from a place of calm curiosity? That distinction changes everything. Next is self-control. When he reaches out, respond thoughtfully rather than immediately. Avoid jumping to fill the silence or overcompensating for his distance. A simple, confident message, a short but meaningful acknowledgement, or even allowing a pause in communication, can create space for him to reveal his intentions. Silence on your part doesn't push him away. It gives him room to reflect on what he feels and what he wants. Setting boundaries is equally important. Know your worth and communicate it gently but firmly. If he pulls away, don't chase. Maintain your routines, your friendships, and your goals. The more grounded and fulfilled you are independently, the more attractive and magnetic you become. This isn't about playing games. It's about respecting your own value and giving him the chance to meet you emotionally. Another strategy is emotional mirroring. When he expresses himself, even subtly, reflect it back in a balanced way. Acknowledge his presence, reminisce briefly, or respond with light-hearted warmth. This signals that you notice him and value the connection, without overwhelming him or seeming desperate. Men often respond positively to subtle emotional cues when they feel safe rather than pressured. Finally, trust the process. Love, attraction, and emotional reconnection don't happen overnight. By responding with patience, consistency, and self-respect, you create an environment where he can explore his feelings safely. You're showing him that you are emotionally intelligent, confident, and capable of loving without losing yourself. That combination is far more compelling than chasing ever could be. Remember, responding without chasing doesn't mean ignoring him or being cold. It's about holding space for both his feelings and your own, maintaining dignity, and letting the natural pull of longing work in your favor. When you master this, you not only empower yourself but also allow him to step closer on his own terms, revealing the depth of what he truly feels, silently or otherwise. As we reach the final moments of this journey, it's important to pause and reflect on everything we've explored. Understanding the silent signs that a man misses you is not about manipulating his emotions or trying to force a connection. It's about seeing clearly, recognizing truth in behavior, and empowering yourself to act from a place of confidence rather than fear. The first empowerment tip is self-awareness. Recognize your own patterns, your triggers, and your boundaries. Knowing what you want and what you won't compromise on creates an internal compass that guides your interactions. When you're grounded in your own emotional reality, you no longer get lost in guessing games or trying to decode mixed signals. You see the signs for what they are, reflections of his feelings, without letting them dictate your sense of worth. Next, focus on emotional resilience. Missing someone is universal, but the strength lies in managing your response. Avoid the trap of over-investing in behaviors that don't serve you, and remember that his silence or distance is not a reflection of your value. You have the power to maintain your peace, your dignity, and your happiness, even in moments of uncertainty. This isn't just self-preservation, it's self-respect. Another tip is intentional presence. When you do interact with him, be fully there, whether it's a message, a conversation, or a meeting in person. Bring calm confidence, warmth, and clarity. Men respond to authenticity and strength, not desperation. Your presence should be magnetic, balanced, and centered, allowing him to mirror back the care he's been feeling silently. Boundaries remain crucial. Let him navigate his emotions while you maintain your life, passions, and friendships. Pulling away occasionally, or allowing space is not coldness, it's strategic patience. It shows that you value yourself and won't compromise your energy, while also giving him the room to confront his feelings naturally. Finally, embrace patience and trust the process. Emotional reconnection, longing, or silent attachment cannot be rushed. By standing in your own power, honoring your feelings, and observing his subtle cues without chasing, you create a dynamic that encourages honesty, vulnerability, and mutual respect. Remember, the ultimate empowerment comes from knowing that your value is inherent. His actions, words, or distance do not define your worth. By focusing on self-respect, emotional intelligence, and mindful observation, you not only decode his silent signals, but also cultivate a life that is rich, confident, and emotionally fulfilling, with or without him. In the end, recognizing that he misses you is just the first step. How you respond with clarity, patience, and self-love is what transforms uncertainty into empowerment. You're not just learning the signs, you're mastering your emotional landscape, and that is the most powerful position to be in. As we close this video, remember that understanding someone else's feelings, especially when they're silent, is only half the journey. The real power lies in what you do with that knowledge. You now have insight into the subtle ways a man can show he misses you. From micro-expressions and body language to social media behavior and emotional patterns. But knowing is different from acting consciously, and that's where transformation happens. The first next step is reflection. Take a moment to consider what you've observed in your own situation. Which of the signs we've discussed feel familiar? Which behaviors have you noticed but perhaps ignored? Reflection isn't about overanalyzing or creating anxiety. It's about creating clarity. When you clearly understand the dynamics, you can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The second step is empowerment. You've learned how to respond without chasing, to maintain your value, honor your boundaries, and stay emotionally grounded. This is your superpower. It's a mindset shift from uncertainty to confidence, from fear to self-respect. Use it to navigate relationships with calm assurance, knowing that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's actions. Next, take action consciously. Small, deliberate choices matter. Respond in ways that align with your values. Maintain your routines and engage meaningfully when it feels right. This isn't about games or manipulation. It's about showing up as your best self and creating space for genuine connection. And finally, commit to growth. Emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and understanding relationship dynamics are skills that deepen over time. Every interaction, every subtle cue you notice is a chance to strengthen your insight and your confidence. Treat each experience as practice, not judgment, and celebrate the progress you're making in understanding both yourself and him. Before we go, remember this: whether he expresses it or remains silent, you have the power to remain centered, confident, and whole. His actions may reveal longing, but your response reveals strength. By choosing clarity, self-respect, and emotional intelligence, you create not just the possibility of reconnection, but the foundation for healthy, fulfilling relationships, now and in the future. So take these insights, integrate them into your life, and move forward with quiet confidence. Watch, observe, respond thoughtfully, and trust yourself. Your journey of understanding, empowerment, and love has only just begun, and the best is yet to come.